Post-harvest pesticides can be detected not only in the food we consume directly, but also in the feed we give our cattle. Corn is often used as animal feed. To this corn, the fungicide TBZ and the pesticide Actelic are often applied. The United States Department of Agriculture issues an official evaluation of the toxicities of a variety of pesticides. 4 levels of toxicity are indicated, ranging from A, the strongest, down to D. Strongly toxic TBZ, whose residues remain behind in beef, is evaluated as B2. Also, actelic residue has been noted to remain in the grain for up to 21 months. Corn is used to feed chickens, cattle, and hogs, and pesticides are regularly mixed in with the grain. Not only does pesticide residue contaminate the food we consume directly, but it also contaminates beef, eggs, and milk through the feed. Soybeans are used in such familiar food products as soy sauce and tofu, as well as in many others. Today, our soybean supply depends mostly on importation. According to data provided by the National Research Council, these imported soybeans are ranked as the 10th riskiest product in the etiology of cancer. According to some research, 70% of the cause of such allergies as atopy, which has recently been on the rise in Japan, can be traced to soybeans. The most frequently used post-harvest pesticide for soybean is Bt, a bacterial pesticide. How safe is American rice to eat? Here we see small planes used for spraying pesticides over large tracts of farmland. A variety of pesticides were scattered around the landing site. The American rice growing region is particularly large. Consequently, the farmers cannot grow their rice without using herbicides. No residences are located close to the farming fields, so the farmers can use very strong pesticides with apparent impunity. Parathion is so toxic that 10 years ago it was banned for sale in Japan. In America, however, this chemical is sprayed from the air even today. The harvested rice is stored in bins. In California, modern large-capacity storage facilities are lined up, and even for long-term storage, the farmers use only fumigation, so residues from pesticides is minimal. Nevertheless, many American rice growers located in south-central states still use malathion and other pesticides in their smaller storage bins. There are problems in how these bins are constructed. Looking inside, you can see light streaming through a small number of openings. Because insects can enter through these gaps, the farmers are forced to use insecticides. Also, because insects and other pests thrive in the grass that grows around the storage bins, the stored grain can be easily attacked. We visited some grain exporting facilities in the New Orleans area. Right away, we saw a tank for storing insecticides. Here again, grain bound for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe is treated with insecticides prior to export. On the tank of insecticides, we saw a label indicating that malathion was being stored there. When the grain is moved from the grain exporting facility to the ship docked alongside, it is liable to be rained on because there is so little protection from the weather. The grain can be easily spoiled. Wet grain promotes the growth of mold and fungi, so fungicides are used.
I believe that post-harvest practices of mixing pesticides with the spreading pesticides is actually a violation of the law, but the Japanese government has yet to do anything about it. I think that current trade friction is one of the reasons why the government has done nothing. At the GATT conference, the United States is trying to establish international food safety standards. I think that we have to move in such a way as to standardize these things in an internationally safe direction.
This is the Environmental Health Center, located in Dallas, Texas. This facility provides treatment and conducts research in the area of chemical hypersensitivity produced by environmental contamination. This patient has displayed the symptoms of chemical hypersensitivity for about 20 years. Her hands are always uncontrollably shaking. Her hypersensitivity has gradually increased to the point where these days there are only 20 food items that this lady is able to eat. Using vitamin C injections, the trembling of her hands can be brought under control for about 2 weeks. The absence of pesticides is no longer the prime concern for this woman. This man also suffers from hypersensitivity. Chemical hypersensitivity displays a variety of symptoms, often starting off with something that seems like nothing more than a bad cold. It is caused by repeatedly injecting small amounts of offending chemical. The Environmental Health Center's Dr. William J. Ray says this.
What is the percentage of the pesticides?
Oh, I think about 80% of them are by challenge tests sensitive to pesticides. Maybe higher, it could be more.
80% か、それ以上いるかもしれませんが。
Let's warn the Japanese consumer that they should be demanding food that is free of pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides.
What we must seriously consider now is just how much we can eliminate pesticides from the treatment of agricultural products. One area where post-harvest pesticides can be eliminated is in storage. The generation of insects and other pests can be prevented by keeping the storage areas clean. Also, sealing the openings in the bins and other storage facilities will stop penetration by many kinds of pests, and that will reduce the usage of insecticides. This is a beneficial insect company located in Central California. In the case of wheat, grain weevils are a notorious insect pest, so Rincon Vitova raises insects that feed on these weevils without doing any damage to the wheat. In this way, the use of insecticides can be eliminated. This company manufactures Dryicide in Australia. Dryicide is a powder made from loam. The Dryicide is mixed in with the wheat, and the insects living in the grain become dehydrated and die. This dissectant is used on animal feed. Now, we will show you an organic lemon farm where pesticide use is strictly forbidden. Here, we would like you to pay attention to the post-harvest treatment of the fruit. The farmers do not wash the lemons prior to shipment, nor do they wax the fruit. Rather, they ship their lemons only after grading them. We want to introduce you to an export facility located in Perth, Australia. Notice the pipe that runs down the center of the storage area. This pipe carries carbon dioxide gas. This is an example of reducing treatment with pesticides through the use of a gas that deprives the pests of oxygen. In addition, with the use of deoxidizers and nitrogen atmosphere cold storage for grain products, efforts toward the elimination of post-harvest pesticides have gradually begun. I have been researching post-harvest pesticides for 3 years now. Post-harvest pesticides are used because they are the cheapest method of protecting stored foods. Eliminating these pesticides will slightly increase the cost of storage, but it is now possible to eliminate pesticide usage. Don't you agree that it is essential that we choose to do away with 2,4-D?